Hey Team Worldwide, today we are in Rotterdam, Santa Ana to check out Callaway's brand new release of X-Forged and X-Forged Max. These two irons are not something that exists in their line, they're not replacing anything. This is a cool new addition to Callaway's iron lineup for 2025. We have got these single forged pieces of 1020 carbon steel, 1020, that means soft billets of steel turned into players' irons. The X-Forged, a little slimmer, a little more tour player designed. The X-Forged Max is designed for the rest of us. It kind of adds a little less loft and a little more forgiveness in the sole. Today, I'm going to put them to the test in the sim here, compare the two together and give you some insight into what these things are going to do for you when you come and book your fitting at a Worldwide Golf retail location. Hit the like and subscribe button, tell us what you think of this content, and let's jump into it. So first impressions, this thing is definitely aimed at a better player. It's got that small body. It looks like a tour player design, really slick looking. This gives me that nostalgic feel back to the old X-Forged that Callaway did make a while ago. Real player inspired. The other thing I love about this, and it's not going to show up indoors as much, but is this tri-sole design. It's basically kind of three separate angles across the sole. The main one being this leading edge, having a nice camber to it. It just means if you're coming in steep, the club's going to get out of the ground a bit easier. Those steep players are going to love that. Those players with lots of speed like that. It helps get the club out of the ground a little quicker. But let's put this thing to the test. That 1020 carbon steel is going to feel soft, feel its sound. It's just basically going to be a more muted, quieter golf club. The cavity back design is kind of slim. It's a cavity, but it's not a huge cavity. And that was a miss hit out of the toe. That's my normal miss. We might see some improvements with that as we go into the next model with a little more chunk about it. Not much offset at address. Looks really tidy. Similar kind of strike there. I didn't get all of that, but we're still going to hit our yardage. Pretty good. This is going to be the higher spinning model of the two, you would think. This has got a 33-degree 7-iron. We think about blades these days having 34 or 35, so this really is designed for the player who needs that spin, that control over their golf shot. Feel-wise, feels like every other forged club in a good way. It's a really solid forging. Try and hit a little cut here, a little more spin on it. And we've set the green at this distance because the X-Forged Max has actually got 31-degree 7-iron. It's going to go a little further, but with the lower center of gravity, it's going to go higher too. So let's hit one more with the X-Forged, and then we'll put the Max in to compare. Nice, that was a pretty solid strike to finish there. Really good. You see this thing stopping at the end. That's really designed for the control of the player that's looking to stop it on the greens quick. 6,200 RPMs, a bit of a rainbow with all those missed strikes. Average 5,700 RPMs, 120 ball speed with one decent or two decent miss hits in there. This is a key number, land angle 50 degrees. I'm definitely looking to be there or thereabouts with a 7-iron, trying to stop this ball on the green all the time. Okay, 170 carry. Let's see what the X-Forged Max does. Jumping into the X-Forged Max, I touched on it before, loft slightly different. 33 degrees in the X-Forged, 31 degrees in the X-Forged Max. They've decreased the loft because this thing is a little wider across the sole. The center of gravity is lower. You can see from those B-roll shots that those pockets in here are really designed to drag that center of gravity down, add forgiveness across those miss hits in the face, which I've definitely got going on. Let's touch on the golf shaft. We've got the DG Mid S300. It's the Mid 100 version. We've got that in both options. And that kind of says to me that these are kind of blendable options too. The Max in at the 4, the 5, potentially even the 6-iron. When that center of gravity gets lower, easier to get the ball in the air. Okay, subtle differences. We're still talking about a single piece of 1020 carbon steel forged. So what I love about this is like a real aspirational golf club. The forged alone, you do need to be a better player. It's a smaller blade, there's not as much chunk on the bottom. This X-Forged Max, definitely a little more confidence inspiring, a little more offset, a little thicker top line, just a little more body about it. I think this is going to give those players who want that really good forged golf club an option to go to. There is a little different sound out of this actually, with that cavity being a bit different. I feel like I heard that a little more golf club there, not in a bad way, just different. And that one straight out of the gate, that was a little A little better strike. Okay, that's an equivalent miss hit in the toe, just like I did with the X-Forged. You can see with this one, it nearly goes in, which is pretty good. But I get a little more bang for my buck with this. That toe strike definitely felt way more solid with the X-Forged Max. I think this is a really interesting data set. A bit of a miss strike too. This is incredible. That's exactly the same, if not a worse toe strike than what I hit with the X-Forged. Technology in this single forging, which you don't get a lot of tech in forgings like this. It's really working. Really good. That's something to touch on really quickly. When you see a forged golf club, sometimes it's pieces of a golf club are forged. It might be the face, it might be the body. These things are a single billet of steel squashed into these shapes, and that really makes for great feel, great looks. They're really pretty golf clubs. But this one has stood out to me in terms of forgiveness, and it's why it's called the Max. It's for max flight, max forgiveness. Let's check out the numbers compared. Pretty compelling evidence for me here as a golfer. Looking at the numbers compared to each other here. We've got 120 ball speed on average with X-Forged. That's good, bad, everything in the mix. 122.5 miles an hour with the X-Forged Max. It's 2.5 mile an hour gain. That's a good half a club. Then we look at the launch. We're only launching it a little bit lower with the X-Forged Max, and that's a lot lower in loft. Remember that. The loft change and the launch angle change don't match up, which proves that this technology in this lower center of gravity is working. Spin rate, only 300 RPMs difference, and I hit it 6 yards further. Do I care about that? No, and I don't think the player that's purchasing these golf clubs does either. But what we care about is those dispersion circles there. I hit the Max way straighter. I felt it off the miss hits off the toe. For me, standout winner of these two is the Max. I'm just not good enough to play the regular version. Plenty of great golfers are going to love that. Forged 1020 carbon steel, great looking, a real nice callback to the original X-Forged products. Callaway have done an awesome job here. Head to a Worldwide Golf retail location or worldwidegolf.com to book your fitting for X-Forged and X-Forged Max. Unbelievable golf clubs this year.